Good morning, everyone. If you could take your seats, we're going to get started. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Professional Women's Luncheon. I'm Rebecca Arthur. I'm the Vice President of Programming at the Chamber, and I'm so happy to see all of you today. I'd also like to welcome everyone that's attending on Zoom. Guys, wave at the camera. Say hi to everybody on Zoom. Those of you on Zoom, you have two virtual ambassadors joining you this morning, Kathleen and Wendy, so they're there to help answer any questions you have. So I'm sure they're waving to you on the camera right now, too. To begin our program, please welcome Megan Almasi from Orlando Health to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I don't know if you all have noticed this cool little shower cap over the microphone here, but I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so if you all could please bow your heads and join me in a moment of reflection and prayer. We each have a unique and excellent gift to share. It is our most earnest duty to use that gift to better the community we share, set examples for those around us, and shape the legacy we will leave. It is with that very gift that we can change someone's day or someone's life. During this time together, allow us to courageously open our eyes, our minds, and our hearts to new ideas, new connections, and new opportunities. May we discover the gift we have to offer if it is not already known. For today, we must make a commitment through our own personal faiths to find a way to end each day better than it started. Let us all take comfort in knowing that we can make a difference. And when we encounter troubling times, may we always be reminded of the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. And if you could please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Megan. I'd also like to recognize our elected officials that are here this morning. If you are an elected official, could you please stand and be recognized? We also have quite a few of our board members here today. If you guys could stand and be recognized and join me in thanking them for their service. Now, you know these events can't happen without some amazing sponsors, so now I'd like to recognize our presenting sponsor, Orlando Health South Seminole Hospital, and welcome Tiffany Pratt.
Good afternoon, everyone. Such an honor to see so many women in the room today, braving the pandemic. We love our men, but you know, women rule. So it feels like today has been a long time coming, huh? Our world has virtually transformed, literally. Since the time we originally planned to meet in this room, hearing from Maryann. So over the last 6 months, we have all made so many changes to adjust to the new normal. The pandemic has definitely affected our home life, our work life, blurring the lines between the two. This, among the other complicated challenges we have faced, has taken a toll on our mental well-being, I'm sure. Ready to help our community cope and overcome, we have onboarded additional physicians in our behavioral health pavilion at Orlando Health South Seminole Hospital. At our hospital in Longwood, We also operate Central Florida's only child and adolescent behavioral health unit, addressing the unique needs of children as young as 4 years old. With physicians and team members that are specially trained to provide individual care plans on a range of mental health concerns, we are privileged to serve the full health needs of our community whenever they may arise. It is those incredible team members and physicians I mentioned that make all 13 Orlando Health hospitals and emergency departments recognized for exceptional care. One honor that is near and dear to my heart is our Modern Healthcare Best Places to Work recognition. So I'm proud to say that Orlando Health South Seminole Hospital was recognized this year for the prestigious honor. It is a national recognition that only a few hospitals are selected for. So we truly have the best team to serve your needs of you and your family. So Orlando Health South Seminole Hospital is, again, one of only 40 hospital facilities from across the country that received the award. The recognition demonstrates the care and compassion our team members give each and every day. Finally, as we approach Breast Cancer Awareness Month, I would like to take a moment to recognize those across the spectrum on their breast cancer journey, survivors and their support team. On October 3rd, Orlando Health South Seminole Hospital, in partnership with Orlando Health UF Health Center, will host the second annual Breast Decisions event in a virtual format this year. The program will feature a panel discussion of 7 physicians and expert specialists sharing information about diagnosis, treatment, mental health, and more. So for more information about the event and how to register, you can check the Seminole County Chamber's community event calendar or the Orlando Health Facebook page. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of the day, and I hope you all have a wonderful and safe day. Thank you.
We also have a few more valued sponsors that help make this program possible: Florida Blue, Witham Smith & Brown, Dignity Memorial, and Orlando Law Group, and Veritas. Thank you all for your support. We're now going to break for lunch. There are icebreaker questions on your tables so you can get to know the people that you're sitting with, and we will be back to hear from Maryann shortly.
To introduce the speaker now. Okay. So our speaker today is Maryann Berry. She is the Girl Scouts of Citrus Council CEO. She is also a proud Girl Scout herself and seasoned not-for-profit business leader. From her early college days in New York to today, Maryann's life and career choices have been driven by her passion to create environments that influence improved outcomes for all children. She believes the key to growing stronger communities is to invest heavily and with clear intent in building healthy, confident, and above all else, kind children. Maryann attended Bishop Kenny High School in Jacksonville, then proceeded overseas to graduate from Tehran American School in 1978. Right? I definitely wouldn't have put that in there if it was me. She returned to the United States to complete a dual bachelor's degree in psychology and biology from Marymount College in 1982. Who wrote this? Don't be giving away all the years, Maryann. Yeah, right? She later attended graduate school in Alabama, completing master's study in both women's studies and educational psychology with a biochemistry focus. Wow. She joined the university's PhD program in human development and is published in the fields of child welfare and substance abuse treatment. While in graduate school, Maryann also completed a special program offered in conjunction with NASA and Redstone Arsenal to become a certified aeronautics educator. This year, Maryann added another exciting and out-of-this-world opportunity to her resume. She will be fulfilling her childhood dream to travel to space. when she rockets toward the stars with Virgin Galactic as a pioneer commercial astronaut. She completed her future astronaut onboarding with Virgin Galactic in London this past June. I have the great honor of serving on the board of Girl Scout Citrus Council with Maryann. And so without further ado, Miss Maryann Berry.
Hi, everybody. All right, that's what my fun ride's going to be. I'll talk a little bit about that later. Before I start talking, you have to put the shower cap on. But I am famous in my council for my selfies and social media presence for the girls. And so I would hear about it later if I don't do a mass selfie with all of you. So indulge me for the girls here for a moment. My phone cooperates. So I'll do one side of the room and then the other side of the room, and then you all will be famous in Girl Scout Landia. All right, you ready? Side one. There we go. Side two. Got everybody? There we go. All right. Thank you for being here today. Bye. I had to have my mask on for the selfie because they would ask questions if I did not. So thank you all for indulging me in that. And another thing you might notice, right, I'm a very mobile speaker, so if I move too far away from the microphone, somebody wave. And also, oh, that's a great one. When I'm getting close to time, somebody at this table give me a sign because I can be a little chatty. So you also have to indulge me today. If you notice, if there's a bit of a green tinge to my hair, it's not a pool accident, okay? It is, in order to inspire our girls and our volunteers, I stepped out and said, if you meet your goals, I will dye my hair green. And as they've gotten closer to their goals, and we've met one goal in full, we're getting close to another one, and each community is also working to meet their community goals. I've been going on Facebook and showing the progression of the green hair to a full head of hair. So one of these days, I hope you will see me and I will have a lovely emerald green that I'll be sporting. And that ties in a little bit to some of the things that I do want to talk about today. When they asked me to come speak, I'm like, it's just me. And I do what I do every day because I really love what I do every day. I love the opportunity to serve. I love the opportunity to get creative with my own life and come up with craziness like this. But I'll tell you a little bit about my journey because what I hope to do here today is inspire you. And inspire you to keep going for the dreams that you have, no matter how ridiculous they may feel or sound, or to dust off a dream that you've put on the shelf. Because if you'd asked me 20, 25 years ago, when I was 5, and I graduated from high school and college early, so, don't worry about those numbers. If you told me I'd be the CEO of a Girl Scout Council, I would be like, pfft. What? And if you told me that my childhood dream would be coming to fruition, I would have said that ship sailed. So I'm here to tell you today, don't give up on your dreams. And the journey can be a very unexpected journey that takes you to where you really want to go. It doesn't always come to us the way we expect. So we have to be flexible. I'm going to put this like that till I'm ready to show it to you a little bit more. So I'm a native Floridian. I grew up my first half of elementary school over on the Space Coast. And my father was an engineer, a telecom engineer. My mother was a journalist. Actually, the Space Coast beat I got to meet the Merc 7, riding one of their Corvettes. So it was a pretty cool thing to have happen in your childhood. I believe that the things that happen in our childhood, and this is why I am so passionate about doing what we can to ensure each child has the highest quality childhood that they can and is exposed to the most experiences to inspire their imagination that they can. Because I was blessed to have parents who were creative and who were, so my dad was like Uncle Sam in the parade. They were like the crazy people in town, okay? The community theater people, I know you've got some of you in here, right? We're nuts group, right? I, by the way, stayed away from that as an adult because I was so traumatized by having to be in the back of the theater all the time growing up. But there were some things on my journey that I believe formed the passions that I hope I can share and bring to the table and what I do now, not only to make a living, but to be a part of making the world a better place. So when I was about 4, those crazy theater people decided that I should be the person who dresses up as the elf. Now, I was a little tiny kid with bright red hair, very small for my age, so I guess it worked really well. My dad would be Santa Claus, my mom would be Mrs. Claus, and in Brevard County at that time, there was an orphanage. Now, when you're 4, you don't know you're fortunate. But if you can learn that at 4, that's pretty powerful. So I was pre-kindergarten age. And they would take me, and we would go and pass out gifts at this facility. And I remember a moment, and it might even be my first deep and true memory, that I was the little elf, so I had to give them their gift and a little candy cane after they sat on my dad's lap. And this one little boy came up, and tears were just streaming down his face when he jumped into my father's lap and gave him a big hug and said, "I love you, Santa Claus." And my dad was so kind and so gracious with this little fellow who was my age. And I remember standing there and thinking, that's my dad. That's not Santa Claus, that's my dad. And then the little boy came up to get his gift and his candy cane from me. And we looked in each other's little kid eyes, and the tears were streaming down his face. And at that young moment, it gelled in me that I needed to do something to make other kids not feel that way, whatever that was. I could see pain. And so that's a legacy that they left with me that lives in me and informs everything that I do. Other things that happened that informed my journey was going to live in another country, to go and live in the Middle East in 1978 and get evacuated, because that was when the insurrection happened. And to be put on a plane with all kids, because the threat was that Mr. Khomeini had said to kill all American children if the Americans won't leave. And my father was with American Bell International, that's why we were over there. And being rushed to the airport, being told, sitting in class in trigonometry, and this is what comes over the loudspeaker, "Excuse me, girls and boys, please pack up your things and head to the bus loop. Today is the last day of school." Just like that. And being handed over people's heads kids to take with me on the plane to get back to the United States. Again, really made me appreciate kindness, made me appreciate that a culture of kindness is critical. So again, for my journey, my brother, when I was little, I was 8 when Apollo 11 went up. My brother was a Saturn V technician, and he worked on the Saturn V rocket that brought Apollo 11 up. And I was allowed to be there with my parents and my brother in the special viewing area that day. And again, one of those seminal moments. So my encouragement to you here is reflect upon your life and on those moments in your life that really informed your passion. What's important to you? What do you want to build your dreams on? What do you want to make your difference in? And then just let the path, make those choices. I think we all make micro movements towards our dreams and towards the places where our passions lead us. Again, I was in the child advocacy and substance abuse treatment field, and if no one had recruited me to Girl Scouts, it would not have crossed my mind for 5 seconds to become a Girl Scout executive. I didn't think it was where I fit. Turns out it's the best fit of my career. I absolutely adore every aspect of this job and the work we get to do to inspire girls and to make the world a better place. And I call it the best prevention program on the planet. It really is, because it gives girls tools and builds their character and builds their self-esteem. And it is a privilege and an honor to be able to have that as part of my life. The culmination of things that I did in the past. I went from being in the repair business to the building business, is how I refer to it. And that's a gift that I'm very grateful for. But the experiences of my life that built those dreams, seeing that rocket go up, knowing that my brother was a part of it, getting to meet the Merc 7 and ride in their Corvette, that fed my space dreams. We used to go stand on the beach. I mean, the Minutemen rockets, if you anybody lived on the Space Coast as a kid, for right now I'm feeling like I'm the oldest person in the room, just so you know. But it was such an amazing time to be there and to see all that. And every kid you knew wanted to be an astronaut, right? I wanted to be an astronaut, and I expressed that I wanted to become an astronaut. And would you like to know what I was told? Girls don't become astronauts. Maybe you should be a nurse. Which was a wonderful profession. And I think I would have loved that as well. I kind of love whatever I do. Okay, that's part of the secret. Whatever you're doing, 110% in, do the green hair, do whatever, love what you do. Create a way to love what you do. So I landed here. And this journey, this unexpected journey where I think I constantly made micro movements. For example, I was in graduate school and I was teaching when that aerospace educator thing came along, and I knew that part of it was they were getting ready to try to do a teacher in space again. And I thought, ooh, I was 29 or 30 years old at the time. And I thought for a minute maybe I was already past the window. I was told, you're not past the window. Most astronauts become astronauts at 33. I was like, oh, well, let me see if I can get this done. Check this dream off. And the program was amazing. And while I was training for a Class 2 flight physical so I could move myself into the realm of astronaut candidate, I injured myself, and that was the end of that. Now, I didn't have the tenacity. I look back now and I kind of snap my fingers because I have talked to other astronauts who applied 10, 11, 12 times before they were accepted. But I continued to stay close, right? You stay close to your dreams, right? I stayed close to the space industry. I always stayed close to things that were going to make the world a better place for children. No matter what, when, where, and how I was doing, I kept that thread of my passion and my dream. And I don't think I did that consciously, by the way, but I want you to do it consciously. I want everyone else to do it consciously because it will make such a difference in your life. So I kept that close. And then I met a woman because I wanted them to work with us on a program named Sharon Hagel, who is the CEO and founder of Space Kids Global and is also a Virgin Galactic future astronaut. And she kind of asked me, so why don't you think about that? And I was like, oh, probably not. But I went to their Galaxy Gala, and there was this live auction item, which was a behind-the-scenes tour in Mojave, California, at the Virgin Galactic facility where they are building spaceships. And it's one of those moments where the spirit moves you, and I was like, I have got to have it. My spouse is not here, and I have the credit card. Yeah. And I was really focused, and so we started the bidding process, and there was a few people here and a few people there, and it got down to one other person and I, back and forth, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, and I'm like, I'm getting into a range here. But I felt so passionate. I felt like I had to do this, and that's another point. Listen to your gut, because your gut knows stuff you don't know. You don't know consciously. And then the gentleman who was doing the live auction said, okay, look, this is going to go on all night. I'm going to say a number. And the first person, we had little lightsabers to be our auction things. The first person to raise their lightsaber in the air gets it. The number is, and I was like, me, please God, don't be 20,000. And $8,000 later, which was way more than I expected to spend on going to the Galaxy Gala, just so you know. Wait, it gets better, because then I was like, okay, now I have to go home and tell this. So Christmas was coming. I said, I got you a present. I wish I was lying about that tactic, but I'm not. That is exactly what I did. I said, we're gonna go and maybe get to meet Richard Branson, and we're gonna see this great stuff. And while I was there, first of all, I was like, I'm probably the ultimate space geek. And I was so over the moon, I could hardly stand myself every minute of the day that I was there. And on the second morning, on the first night actually, they took us out to where these big windmill fields are, and they said, we want everybody to just tell your story about why are you here? Because I was the only one that won it that way. There were some other people who'd already were future astronauts, but were early in their introduction to it, and some people who were interested maybe in it. And I told my story about my childhood experience of watching the rockets go up and really wanting to be a part of this industry, and that I tried to become an astronaut once, and this was just something that I had such a fascination and such a passion for, and that it had always been my dream to go to space. But it didn't happen for me, so I could take joy in it happening for others. The next morning, and I was thinking about, how do you do this? Oh, that's a lot of money, okay. And I knew they had closed the window as well. The next morning, the head of the astronaut office came up to me at the hotel and said, look, if we opened the window up for you, would you do it? I cried. I was in disbelief. And they had already talked to my spouse, by the way, which I thought was a very wise thing to do, who was extremely supportive. And in that moment, and a sweeping change happened in my life, right? I'm going to get to take the ride of a lifetime and experience that, and be a guinea pig to make sure this works. So if you don't hear more from me, so maybe it wasn't the best choice, but I will have left this world doing something I always wanted to do, and I would have no regrets for that, because I will have lived a dream of an experience, a personal dream, not somebody else's dream. My dream since I was 3 feet tall. And the only way that happened was because I don't lead with no. I try to lead with yes, lead with possibility thinking. And that has made a difference in my career. Never letting go and staying close to dreams has made a difference in my trajectory in my career. And if with my life and the blessings that I have had the good fortune to receive, and the cuckoo risks that I'm willing to take, can inspire anybody in this room, any little girl or little boy out there, and obviously my focus is on raising up our little girls. We need 2.5 million girls in the STEM career pipeline by 2025, or we're going to have a very serious shortage in this country. The universe, the good Lord, whatever your belief system may be, has granted me a gift to be able to do this, to inspire girls, that it doesn't matter how darn old you get, thanks, Christina, or what other little jigs and jogs happen along your pathway. Keep your dream in sight. Don't let it go, because you can find your way. It may not come exactly the way you want. It may not look exactly like what you thought it would, but it's there for you if you're willing to put in the effort, the risk, and the belief in yourself and the world around you. So that's why I'm here today, is to share my story and share that inspiration, and hope that I have given you some sort of boost in yourself to say, I'm going to go dust off that old crazy dream. I'm going to write that novel. I'm going to paint that great American painting. I'm going to go to space. and in a most unusual way, to be a pioneer in a new industry that doesn't, this is what's cool, and I'll do this real quick. Can you hear me if I step away? Yeah, I'm loud as all heck. Just ask the people that work for me. So, have you ever seen a video of how Virgin Galactic takes off? So most space flight is a vertical launch, correct? This commercial system is being built. Oh, thanks, great idea. I'm too old to think of that. Is being built to take the commercial space industry in an area that is also about tourism and giving everyone, their motto is make the world a better place by opening space for all. And they're also, this is a prototype, if you've seen some more news, they're actually building a liner. So the idea behind this is that you'd be able to travel from Los Angeles to Paris in a much quicker, much more efficient time frame, and have the added benefit, look like I'm like drawn to talk to the microphone, have the added benefit of seeing the Earth from space, which is a transformational experience based on every astronaut that has been interviewed who's gone to space. There's a book, it's called oh my God, I'm going to be in the book. You'd think I'd know the name. Oh boy, that's embarrassing. I'll think of it later. I'll send you all a copy. But that every astronaut has talked about the fact that when you see the Earth from space, you suddenly realize how small we all are, but at the same time, how close we all should be. Because you don't see country boundaries, you don't see cities, you see a very fragile planet. It is 66 miles from where we stand right now till you leave this atmosphere. That's it. And it's a thin atmosphere. And we need to protect this planet. And we need to protect each other. And the more people that can have that experience, to have that moment of realization that we are one planet, we shouldn't be at war with one another. We're all on the same spaceship, Earth. That is, to me, a gift. If we can manage to make that where it's affordable for more people, right now it's not. But I believe that that is the direction that Mr. Branson and his company are trying to take it. So let me tell you how this works. It's a terrible stress on that body, because I've done when I was trying to be an astronaut the first time, I did some of those tests where they shoot you up in a little ball in a little tube, and you're like, "Rrr." But it's true. But I didn't lose my lunch. This takes off like a plane. And so it's attached, right? This is the plane part. This is what carries. This is your spacecraft. They lock it together. It takes off like a plane. Takes you about 50,000 feet up. Takes you about 50,000 feet. Oh my gosh. Next time get me a lav, because I'm terrible with microphones. So then at 50,000 feet, it separates. We will free fall for about 7 seconds. I might have to wear a Depends, I don't know. God, she said that out loud. Free fall for about 7 seconds. Well, gives us time to go the other direction. The boosters get hit, and we pierce the atmosphere. Now, this particular flight is intended to be suborbital. I was supposed to have my suborbital basic training in March and do another round of zero-G training in April. COVID has disrupted that, so I don't expect to go now till maybe 2022. But once we pierce, we go up to what's called apogee, basically as far as those boosters will take us, and then they cut off. We'll tip. There are going to be a few experiments and little things that we may be asked to do. But mostly, I'm going to be looking out that window just to tell you. I hope I don't not follow directions and end up, we start coming down, I get plastered against the ceiling or something. But that community theater piece, it made it in, whether I liked it or not. So because we don't have any juice to get back, this actually becomes a glider in this particular prototype or this particular craft. So we'll start floating down, and then they'll write these come up so that we stay upside down. These make a 90-degree angle. They're called feathers. They'll flatten them back out. It puts us down like this. Because we're staying suborbital, gravity continues to work on us. We're in microgravity, but gravity continues to work on the craft. The craft will re-enter this beautifully painted side, and it's really stayed kind of nice like that on the two that have gone up and come back with the test pilots and the astronaut instructor. I was surprised that was not like just completely destroyed. I don't know what they're making it out of. Well, I kind of do, but I can't tell you or I'd have to kill you all, sorry. So then we just glide all the way back to Spaceport in New Mexico and land like a plane. And now, if I had not seen this craft with my own eyes, and I had not seen the footage of what it looks like when it lands and when it takes off, and seen the footage, and you can if you go to Virgin Galactic sites on the internet, you can see the videos of that very exciting ride that I'm going to get when those boosters hit. We'll get to about probably 2 to 3 Gs, but it's brief. You only hit 2 to 3 Gs in this way for about 30 seconds, minute max. Now think about when you see a launch from Kennedy. Those poor folks are sitting there really pulling G's for quite a bit of time. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I hope I've inspired you. I'm pretty sure I'm at or over my time. Very good. I'm getting the high sign. So I think it's time to do a little Q&A. But thank you for the opportunity today to share my passion, to share my journey, and I hope that when you walk out of here, there's something stirring in your soul to inspire you to pick up something that you may be left behind or work harder towards a dream you're currently working on. Because if the little kid who was a preemie and short for her age and got made to dress like an elf can manage to find her way to go to space, you can find your way, and anyone who wants to dive 150% into their passion can find their way to their dreams. Thank you all so much for this opportunity. They said I have to stand up here and take questions. Gosh. No. All right, very good. Oh, Zoom was probably who was having microphone trouble. Sorry, Zoom land. Yes, I would love to actually take your Q&A. You had your hand up?
How long are you actually up there? What's the time frame? Is it a day? Is it hours?
Oh, I wish. The question was, how long am I actually up there? This is, I'm in the group that is kind of we're the first round. So it's only a 90-minute trip. Because this is, I think that will grow longer in the future, and there are going to be opportunities that are arising to go to the International Space Station, to do orbital flights as a passenger. Right now, the costs for even thinking about those things is very, very high. So this is a beginning, right? In commercial space industry that is looking at commercial space industry for everyone. So it's not terribly long, but kind of like that's long enough for your first time. For me, I'm good with that. Other questions? Yes?
Hi there, thank you. I think we all enjoyed that. What do you find when you're working with young ladies now is that they feel is their biggest challenge? Is it educational access? Is it confidence? Is it being surrounded by people who are encouraging? What are the things that you find that is most challenging for them to move into STEM careers or to move into what we do, aviation business?
That's an excellent question, thank you. The question was, what do I see in my career as the barrier that girls are finding to moving into STEM and aviation careers, and basically just to doing the things they want to do, right? And I will tell you what we know data-wise is that girls off-ramp from STEM careers at 3rd grade, 6th grade, 9th grade, and believe it or not, they can be going into STEM field or looking like great math students and doing all those wonderful things all the way up to 12th grade and off-ramp going into college. or off-ramp after college when they find they're in a state of isolation in the workplace because there are still too few women. When we talk to the girls, to answer your question, a lot of what we see, sometimes they tell us this, sometimes we see it through behavior. It's a confidence. They're pushing up against an image, right? And so the more you can't be what you can't see, is an old tried and true kind of a statement, right? So the more women in aviation and the more, women in many other STEM careers make themselves highly visible to these girls so that they can see the future, then they can be the future. That is probably what we see in here is the greatest barrier, is that girls are still not seeing, I think almost 700 people, well, there's maybe 600 people have gone to space at this juncture, have left the planet and gone to space. Only 60 of those have been women. That tells a story. And there's so many other jobs in the industry, in the space industry and other STEM-related industries, but the girls have to see you. So I do make another call to you, call to action here. Get involved with us, the Girl Scout Council. You don't have to be a troop leader. You can be a speaker. You can be someone who comes for a day. Let you and your passion and the things you've done with your life be visible to these girls. You don't know when that moment will happen that you will inspire and change her life, because that right now is what we're seeing as where the gap is they don't see it, and they're not getting the encouragement always. And we're flooding the market with it, but they need it at the very personal level. That was an excellent question. Thank you. Who raised their hand? We're good? All right. Thank you very much for having me today. Now I have to pack up all my toys and go home. Oh. Uh-oh. Did I lose that darn back wing again?
Yeah, I'll get it. Don't worry.
I can get it. She's worried I'm too old to pick it up.
Okay. Thank you, Maryann, for coming and being our speaker today. We certainly appreciate all of your experience, and I learned a lot of things about her as well. So now it wouldn't be a chamber event without a door prize. So we have 1 minute. So let me entertain you. I actually was a Girl Scout myself when I was young, and I had 2 troops when my daughters were of that age. And I loved being a part of the Citrus Council so much that when the opportunity arose for me to take part in being on their board, I jumped at the chance. And now they've got me doing all kinds of things. So just know that you guys are not the only ones that get voluntold. It happens to me too. Is my 1 minute up now? Okay, so once I call the winner, our Director of Events, Jessica, will bring you the prize. And what is the prize today? Girl Scout? It's a Girl Scout bag. I'm sure it's got cookies in it. No cookies.
Listen, cookies expire in September, so we can't give them to you. There'll be more in January, I promise. We'll send.
Okay, we're counting on that. January cookies. Okay, and our winner is Amber Clore. So if you are not a chamber member yet, I encourage you to speak to any of our staff about joining. That's me. So, and members, please take a look at our events flyers on your table and mark your calendars for some of our exciting upcoming events. Good Morning Seminole on October 1st will be with guest John Santo, the CTO of Echelon Fit. Let's see what else we have coming up. Seminole Tech Zoom edition on October 7th will be all about the exciting world of home technology. You can meet all of Seminole County mayors on October 15th and get an update what's going on in our county. And there are still some Business Expo booths left. Reach out to Jessica if you would like to meet, 1,000 plus attendees. Thank you again to our sponsors, Orlando Health, Florida Blue, Witham Smith & Brown, Dignity Memorial, the Orlando Law Group, and Veritas. And of course, thank you to the Hilton for a great lunch and for hosting us today. And finally, thank you to our members and guests for joining us this afternoon, and please make it a great Seminole County Day. And one more thing. Megan would love to come up and show you how to use your new bag. Come on, Megan.
Okay, so we heard there might be some confusion about the bag on your table. So just to clear that up real quick, it does actually close. So if you take it, turn it around so that the front is facing you, just give it a roll, and then you're gonna snap it. Okay, and it's, if you can snap it. So there you go. And then you can stuff it full of things. It is waterproof, so take it on the boat, on the beach, wherever you happen to be. Enjoy.